The interesting facts about cougars.
Hi everyone, I'm Dominic. The cougar, puma, or mountain lion is the name for a larger cat in the feline family. Although considered one of the 7 species of big cats, it cannot roar like cheetahs and snow leopards. Let's explore this animal.
A cougar's coat contains several colors. It is interesting to look at a cougar's coat in detail and notice the different colors. Cougar's coats vary from a reddish color to a grayish tan hue. All cougars have lighter fur on the underside and muzzle and a black tip on their tails, as well as black markings on their faces and ears. When cougar cubs are born, they are usually covered in black spots, which act as camouflage to help them blend into the environment. This usually lasts for approximately 6 months. Cougars can jump 20 feet in the air. One of the most astounding cougar facts is that these cats can jump an impressive 20 feet into the air. Their predatory pounce is just as impressive. Cougars can pounce on prey that is as far away as 20 to 40 feet, and that is from a standing position. Cougars are incredible sprinters. Another of the more impressive cougar fact is that cougar's sprinting ability. A cougar can reach speeds of 40 to 50 miles per hour, 64 to 80 kilometers per hour. It performs well in both leaping and short sprints because it has large paws, and proportionally the largest hind legs of all the wild cats. In fact, this animal's hind legs are noticeably larger than their front legs. As such, cougars are not built to run fast over long distances. Cougars hide and store their food. Once they have made a kill, cougars will in fact hide their carcass, often covering with sticks and leaves, as a means of storing their food. Cougars return to their food store over the course of several days in order to feed. Cougars cubs have blue eyes. Cougar cubs are born blind with their eyes closed just like domestic kittens. At about 2 weeks old, the cubs are able to open their eyes, revealing bright blue irises. It takes about 16 months for the eyes to become the greenish yellow color that is associated with adult cougars. Cougars are solitary and secretive animals. In this way, they are very similar to many other cats in the wild. The only group that you might see will be a mother with their cubs. Adult cougars will only meet in order to mate. Puget Sound natives believe that cougars started fires. There are several cougar facts pertaining to cultural beliefs. The Puget Sound natives refer to the cougars as the fire cat. They believe that the cougars would carry fire from the Olympic Mountains to the Mount Rainier every autumn and start forest fires along the way. The black cougar is a myth. One of the most controversial cougar facts is the debate surrounding the existence of black cougars. Although there is some historical anecdotal evidence, scientists and zoologists claim that there is in fact no such thing as a black cougar, also referred to as a black panther. In fact, no scientifically confirmed preserved specimen of a black cougar exists. The explanation that is most frequently provided for this myth is that people have spotted or encountered other cats with melanistic black coloring and mistaken them for cougars. The cougar holds a Guinness World Record. You'll be amazed to learn several cougar facts relating to the name of this animal. In fact, the cougar holds the Guinness World Record for the animal with the highest number of names. There are over 40 names for a cougar in the English language alone. These names include cougar, puma, mountain lion, panther, mountain cat, deer tiger, and catamount. The name by which the cougar is known differs from region to region. However, it is important to know that a cougar is not the same animal as a lynx, bobcat, leopard, cheetah, or jaguar. Fully grown cougars have a few predators. Mature cougars are not the apex predators throughout their range. Cougars frequently have to compete with other predators for food. In the northern part of its range, the cougar interacts with gray wolf and brown bear. Cougars in Florida have to contend with American alligators. Towards the south of its range, the larger jaguar poses competition. The size of a cougar depends on the latitude of its location. One of the most intriguing cougar facts is that the size of a cougar depends on where on the continent it is found. The latitude of the cougar's habitat is the most significant factor in determining its size. Cougars found nearer the equator are generally smaller, with the size increasing towards both the north and south poles. Cougars are unable to roar. When you imagine a big cat, you often tend to think of a lion roaring. However, cougars are not able to roar. Instead, these fierce cats usually purr, just like a regular domesticated house cat. Strangely, cougars have also been heard to scream, squeak, hiss, and even whistle. Inhabiting various ecosystems from mountains to deserts to sea level, the cougar's established range includes western North America, a small region in Florida, and most of South America. They make their home anywhere that there is shelter and prey. Generally, they prey on deer but also feed on smaller animals if necessary, including domestic animals and livestock. Cougars have even been known to eat insects. Skilled and cunning hunters, cougars stay hidden from their prey until they can pounce with claws outstretched. Cougars can also climb with ease and leap over 6 meters, 20 feet. Even though cougars are good swimmers, they prefer not to go into water. Cougars have a bad sense of smell, but fantastic night vision. When it comes to hunting, cougars will stalk their prey, then pounce and attack their victim's throat or back of the neck. When are mountain lions most active? Mountain lions are considered to be most crepuscular and nocturnal. Crepuscular means they like the early dawn and late twilight hours, and nocturnal means they are also active at night. They can certainly be seen during the day, but dawn, dusk, and night is when they are most active. Where do mountain lions sleep? You might be thinking cougar retreat to a home-based cave or a den for sleeping, but this is not the case. Most of the time, they are always on the move around the territory, and cougars will just find a suitably sheltered spot to sleep. What are mountain lions? Mountain lions are a large type cat in the subfamily of Felinae. This means they pretty much have a lot in common with domestic cats. The difference is that they are one of the largest wildcats in North America. Is it easy to spot a mountain lion? Sightings, and especially daylight sightings, are pretty rare. Cougars are reclusive animals that avoid human contact at all costs, except when somebody comes into their territory. Do mountain lions share prey? One of the findings of this behavioral study is that cougars sometimes share prey with one another. They form small communities based on the territory of dominant males and allow each other in soul to speak to feast on a recent kill. This comes down to inviting their neighbor to dinner, which isn't antisocial behavior at all. Mountain lions don't hunt a lot. Because of their powerful legs and large paws, pumas are able to kill pretty large prey such as an elk or deer or even a moose. This allows them to eat from it for several days or even weeks. They will hide the carcass and come back to it whenever they are hungry. This means they don't need to hunt every day, sometimes not even every week. What are the biggest threats for mountain lions? The cougar mainly suffer from a loss in habitat and habitat fragmentation that results in a decay of the ecosystem. Hunting also poses a big threat as it results in a depletion of their prey. In Florida particularly, highways cause a big threat for cougars. Many fatal accidents are reported every year. Mountain lions as the mascot of sports teams. A lot of North American sports teams have or are using a mountain lion as their mascot, and sometimes even in their logo. This isn't exclusive to mountain lions though. Panthers and jaguars are also big cats that are popular to represent sports teams. An example of a team using the Florida mountain lion in their logo is the Florida Panthers. In addition, Puma is also a very large shoes company in Germany. An Inca capital was built in the shape of a mountain lion. Not too far from the mountain range on which we can find Machu Picchu, a major city in the Inca civilization named Cusco, was built in the shape of a cougar. This shows the admiration the Incas had for this amazing animal. That's the end of my clip. Thanks for watching. See you again.